Hold on, I have a Risk Endeavors. Confirm and go live. Okay, we are live on stream. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first TF.summit podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Risk Endeavors.
Yo, what's poppin'? What's up?
So, you made a video recently that's kind of been making rounds on YouTube. It was very different from all the other content that was going around. It was about manpower.
Yep.
So, we're gonna be talking about you and your channel and everything else that's been going on recently.
Good stuff.
So, what inspired you to make the video about manpower?
All right. So, it's been my dream for a couple of years now to get the manpower community to be a more popular thing. I wanted manpower as a whole to be more popular. It's a really fun game mode to me, but it's so what's the word? So private compared to normal TF2. It's very outlandish. That's not the right word. It's more an outcast, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, so I didn't really connect the dots as to why that was happening because this game mode is so fun, yet people aren't playing it except for like a couple hundred.
yeah.
So I went ahead and made this video just to explain why it's so fun and hopefully to get more people on, which it's working out really good, and I'm really excited and happy that it is.
I mean, your video just worked out like so well, and like I remember yesterday I was in Discord with you, and there was like 6 servers, like just in the NA, like 6 like pretty much full servers of just manpower. Very impressive.
Yeah, that was nuts. I've never seen that happen before.
So just gonna do some numbers here. Last night I said in your Discord channel that your video got 30,000 views, and I'm telling, it hasn't even been a day, and it's gotten 10,000 more views. It's at 41,000 views. So that
Wait, really?
That is,
I
yeah,
didn't
it
even
is.
check it yet.
Yeah, it's
Holy
insane,
moly.
man. I've been keeping
That's
track all
cool.
day. So, with all these new faces, like, what is your state of mind right now? You've got so many new fans and so many new players and manpower. What's going through your head? I want to know.
It's like seeing a dream come true. I mean, what can I say? It's very exciting, and it's kind of a feeling where I'm in awe of what's going on here. There's also another feeling of pressure of like, what am I going to do now? I've got all these people in my hands. I have to make sure that I serve these people.
Right.
You know,
it can be kind of stressful at times.
I'm pretty good with stress. I try not to let it get to me.
Yeah, it's a good mindset to have. So just about your content. So now you've made your like big break in TF2. Do you think you're gonna do exclusive TF2 content, or do you plan on expanding out to like other games?
Oof. I don't think it'd be wise for me to go outstretch on some multi games because that's not what people came for. They came for TF2.
Yeah, that is very true, but it's just like there can be a lot of problems with being a pure TF2 YouTuber as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because
I definitely know.
There's people like Soundsmith that made their big break with stereotypes, and at this point he hates making it because he's just like he just doesn't like stereotypes anymore. So he's really burned out on TF2, and that's mainly that's what everyone in his channel wants. So I think it's good that you're going with TF2, but just always keep that in mind.
I definitely am heeding Soundsmith's kind of a warning that he put out.
Yeah. All right. So the final just major question I have about your videos is what's next? What is next for the Risk Endeavors YouTube channel? I know you've talked about it a little in Discord, but I think more people would like to hear some more details.
Yeah, sure thing. So the next video I'm planning on making is a guide to manpower overall, because we've got a lot of people trying it out and they're new to it, but that's the thing, they're new and they're I wouldn't say get stomped, but it's very easy to get lost in manpower when you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Something as simple as getting the hang of the grappling hook would amplify their uh their kills and just their overall gameplay a lot.
All right. So we've talked about your content for a little bit, but now I want to focus on the actual game mode of Manpower. So getting more people into Manpower is great and all, but I think more players means that more people are just going to be finding like overpowered things, and there needs to be balance changes. What do you think would be a good balance change for Manpower?
First of all, I would never trust Valve with updating manpower if it were the life of me. But let's entertain the thought that Valve would one day update manpower. So some changes I can get right off the bat is giving some tweaks on the power ups themselves, like Plague, Nova, and Reflect. Those are the three most controversial power ups, and rightly so. They can be exploited, and especially by good players. I mean, there's one power up that gives you 400 HP right off the bat, and whatever attack's done onto you is reflected back. Like that, in of itself, is a little controversial because you're kind of getting punished for playing the game, dealing damage.
Right.
But I think my biggest gripe is with Supernova because its one good purpose and use is to counter a stomp. Like I could play heavy, right? And I'll do fairly good enough to halt the game sometimes, especially with a medic. And so that would be a good use for Supernova, is for countering big stomps and pushes, because yes, it sometimes happens where one side gets all the power ups and it really is hard to push or make any kind of a difference. So that's where Nova shines. But in all other cases, 90% of the time you will see Nova be used to kill a single player. It actually has its own term. It's called a single Nova. You'll get people in chat saying, "Bro, why'd you single Nova me?" And they
Mm-hmm.
get salty over it.
Right.
So those are my
And
thoughts on Nova.
like also I think Nova is actually can be broken for some reason. As with Spy actually, is that I think that the for some reason the hitbox can be turned while you're in Supernova, because because I've supernovaed people as Spy and I couldn't backstab them. So
Oh, yeah, there's a reason. It's because they can still look in their
right.
third person view.
Exactly, that's kind of what I was talking about. I think that and they can look at you and like change their hitbox somehow. So it's not
Actually,
like
now that
bad.
you mentioned brokenness about Nova, it actually used to be more balanced with a glitch actually. While you were stunned, you used to be able to grapple around. It was weird because you'd give the stun pose, but you could still grapple. That made it
Hmm.
more balanced because that meant that it wasn't an insta kill.
Right.
But that got fixed, so now it's even more of a, well, I guess you just die.
Yeah, you
Sucks to
can't really do
suck.
anything about it. Sucks.
Yep.
So, just gonna talk some more about manpower. If manpower again, this is like really, really stretching far, but if manpower were to get a theoretical content update, or like whatever in whatever major update is next, what would you like to see added to the game mode? Like what maps, maybe even power ups or etc. If those are on the
Okay.
workshop.
So I can go into the maps right away. So there's a map on the Steam Workshop called Hyperline. I love that map. It's really cool. There's still some broken, wonky stuff about it, but that can easily be fixed. It is an overall masterpiece. I've never seen so much work be put into a manpower map from Hyperline. And so I actually call it the fifth unofficial manpower map because that's what it looks like. It'd be very
Mm.
cool if that got made into a map.
Yeah. S- Um, yeah, I don't know if there's any power ups on the thing, but you know, there's could always be like I always want to see if there's like ideas. So
I I have an idea. Were you planning on talking about balance at all for manpower with power ups?
well, I asked you a second ago if you were talking about I was talking about balance changes. So if you want to add on
Okay.
to that, yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. That's good. Okay. So the thing about power ups is that they do make the game mode really wonky in nature. I mean, the whole point of a power up is to basically amplify one single player. So that instantly kind of makes the game mode a little broken as is. Most people usually find it very fun because that's just TF2. It's wonky, it's quirky, it's random.
Epic.
It's not supposed to be epically strategic or anything. But for those kinds
Right.
of players who are more strategic and they want more balance, I would suggest playing manpower without power ups, which isn't a thing that can happen unless it's a community server,
So
sadly
like
enough.
basically have a mode that just without power-ups and like basically just grapple hooks. So
Exactly. I
like
call that vanilla manpower.
I think that would actually be a pretty good like pure competitive thing because
Hmm.
if like okay like theoretically if manpower like I guess the format is sixes on manpower, but like if there's manpower sixes on TF2 center, I think like the the config for that would just be no power ups, grapple hooks, and like that's it.
Exactly. It's very easy to config that up. You
Which
don't.
was it's just actually still good, and like people would say like, oh, but you couldn't really play spy because like, well, or like you couldn't do this, but you could still like play like off class in sixes really well because speed doesn't matter. Everyone has like pretty much the same speed, maybe except for heavy, but like so it makes a lot more classes way more viable than they used to be.
Spy with a grappling hook absolutely becomes viable. He becomes a glass cannon because, especially with the experience I've had with Spy, if you're very good at it and you have the muscle memory, you can usually surprise most pro players and pick them in the key moments.
Right.
That's what happened in the tournament that we had without the power ups.
All right. So I know you're going to talk about this more in your next video, but just want to, I think we could get a little bit of a sneak peek here. What would you recommend for people just coming into the game mode without prior experience?
Grapple hook, grapple hook, grapple hook. I cannot stress enough, please practice the grappling hook. Many players agree with me that grappling hook is the core fundamental for anything manpower. Like if you had one thing to learn from manpower, it would be grappling hook for sure. The mobility just gives you such an edge, especially when you know how to utilize it and take it to your advantage.
Hmm.
So many players don't know how to grapple properly. Like they don't even know that you can press space while grappling. And
Oh,
the strafing in it, strafing's really fun, and you can do that a ton with grappling. So yeah, I see it as both a fun thing to do and it's just the core thing to learn. It really
right.
gives you the edge over most players that don't know how to grapple.
So, back to kind of what you were saying about tournament earlier. What are your plans for the next Manpower tournament? You kind of said a little bit about it in your main video, and I'm sure people would love to hear about it because some people just they like playing TF2 for the competitive aspect, so they might start playing Manpower just to for a competitive side.
Yeah, I got you. So for the next tournament, I haven't done really any planning on it. I just know that it's a thing that I'll eventually do one day. Because why not? So the one thing that happened the last tournament was we were lacking in players. So that's definitely one thing that we have now. We definitely have players, which is really good. And my friends have actually told me like, dude, we could legit make a manpower tourney now. That's
Yeah,
really fun.
think now
But
in like the Manpower craze, you guys could get a super good tournament right now. Like as people are watching like just starting out and getting good at it, and then boom, you have enough people for a tournament.
Yeah, that's another thing though, is that we gotta train people because there's a lot of people coming on to manpower, but there's still not that many pros, especially in NA. That's
Yeah.
North America.
Yeah. Right.
So we definitely need to train more people, and I think we might do a combo of both normal manpower and then vanilla manpower,
Yes.
just the grappling hook.
Yeah,
I
just like
personally
two.
love vanilla manpower because you can go on normal maps then. Like we did ours on High Pass, which was the most fun I've had with
Yeah, I
competitive
I mean I
TF2.
saw I saw like you guys playing like on King of the Hill maps. I'm like, man, that would be awesome in high in manpower. Like, and I think that's good. I think and like this is just like kind of another reason why vanilla is just way better than normal manpower. Is that because when you play on normal manpower and you have all these power ups and stuff, and you play on CTF maps competitively, it's kind of bad, especially in a sixes format, because CTF like in my opinion like in any way on sixes just does not work at all or any competitive environment. So it's already kind of got that plus that you can just play on normal maps just with grappling hook instead.
Yeah, CTF for manpower is more of a either you've got it or you don't. Either you have the position to defend the intel or you don't. It's not really a gray area most of the time, especially with good grapplers that know how to cap. They could instantly like speed cap with the grappling hook, and you either have the position to kill them or you don't. There's no really in between or gray area, and it's kind of frustrating sometimes.
Right. Okay. So, this is kind of a little tiny little question. What, in your opinion, is the worst part about manpower currently?
Hmm. Um. All right. So I think one of the worst parts about manpower is it would be the community itself. People get salty a lot in manpower, and rightly so. It's because there's a lot of new things that they just aren't used to. So we got a lot of new players being salty. We have veterans getting salty. And it's because the core mechanics called power ups kind of fuel that. Because yeah, in a sense, a lot of people get kills that they just don't deserve because they don't have a lot of skill. But still,
Yeah.
you know, and
Also,
that's what makes manpower fun for people too. But
yeah.
it's also something that makes people
I
salty.
was literally pointing at myself the entire time you said that,
Yeah.
because I can get really salty. Just like, why did you deserve that kill? You didn't deserve that kill. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I get salty at every game. It's just how I am. But
Okay. What were you gonna say?
all right. Just gonna move on to some other questions we got here. So so your your use of SFM in in your latest video is actually pretty good. Are you gonna do like some other SFM, like major SFM projects in the future? Like, what's your plans for like that?
I don't plan on leaving SFM for my future videos for sure. I call those things, those stop motion things, I call them still animations. It's a combo of animation and stills
Yeah,
because it's kind
that's
of what it is.
yeah. It's just kind of like stills, just all like put together.
So I don't plan on leaving that for sure. It's meticulous and it takes like an hour just for 60 frames, but or not frames, but 60 faces, but it's still worth it. People love it, and I'm willing to put in that work if people really love it that much.
I
As
thought it was
for
pretty good.
yeah,
I
as for actual animation, like moving stuff without stop motion, I'm just very inexperienced with that.
yeah.
I've hardly done anything of that sort. I can learn that for sure.
I mean,
I
if
would
you
just
need
need
help
someone to teach me.
with posing, just come to me. I've done a bunch of SFM posters, and I know a little bit about posing in SFM so myself, so could
I
probably help.
appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Now we've all kind of been this entire time we've kind of just been talking about your like TF2, but you know what I really want to hear about? What kind of interest do you have in like in life, like in your real life? Like
Oh,
this,
real life? Not much, really.
Just
I'm gonna be honest. I'm more of a cave dweller inside the home.
yeah,
Um,
feel that.
I my life is on the computer. What can I say?
Hmm?
I really do love to play TF2 with my friends. I do that the majority of the time. I also like to play VR chat. Um, and sometimes I'll just chill out watching YouTube. It's really just whatever's on my mind, I guess. I don't really make plans.
Let's see. Are you in like high school or college? Just like or like
I am graduated, but I am not in college. I
uh
don't know if I'm going to need college. If I need it, I'll join it, but I'd like to stay away from debt for as long as I can.
right, that's a good plan. Um, this is kind of it's kind of early to tell because like you kind of just got like super big in the YouTube scene, but do you have any other plans to collaborate with any other YouTubers?
I don't really think much about collaborating with other YouTubers. I mean, that's mainly because I suck at normal pubs. I never play it.
I mean, you could
But
just drag some other people into Manpower, and then you'll be the good one.
true that. Then I'll just then, then they'll watch as I stomp them because I
Yeah,
play
they'll be like, "Oh
Manpower
my
way
god,
too
you're so good
much.
at Manpower."
Oh gosh.
All right. Well, that's all the questions that I have written down on my notepad document. We have 9 viewers right now. That's really good for first stream. So now, you 9 viewers, it's now I want to ask you, what questions do you have for Risk Endeavors? Just ask away. Like I don't really have a time limit.
I got you. I like how Lena says poop.
Oh, Lena. Oop.
I've seen Lena before. I think Lena's in my streams. What's up, Lena?
It's literally just my name on Discord.
I guess while we're waiting for them to ask questions, I might say some stuff on my mind about the Manpower stuff.
Oh yeah, totally. Go ahead. Oh, we got a question from Jam
Oh,
Point. Are you going to be teaching them Supernova in the next video, or do I have to beat the shit out of you first?
despite how much it pains me to do it, yeah, I'm gonna have to teach people how to use Nova in the next video. That happens in Manpower all the time where someone has Nova and I'm like, please don't know how to use Nova. Please just don't know how to use Nova. And so like I'm
Ugh.
coming up to try and kill them and I'm like praying that they don't know how to use it so that I can get them.
All right. How about in the meantime, you should talk about some things that are on your mind and we'll listen.
Yeah, sure thing. First of all, like 40K viewers, I did not expect that when I was making the video. I was thinking maybe a couple K videos to like maybe even 10K videos if I was really lucky. But wow, it's getting really um it's getting a lot of feedback from people in the TF2 community, which is really good for Manpower as a whole. Like
Mm-hmm.
we have 6 servers in Manpower when there's usually 1 or 2 or 3 if we're lucky. I don't know if that's just because it's the weekend or if more people are joining Manpower. I really hope it's the latter though. It's
Yeah.
because Manpower is just so much fun and I really do want people to try it out.
Right. That's great.
Mhm.
We've got
Um
11 we've got 11 viewers now. This is an all-time high. Let's see who else we can
is that gameplay in
anyone
the
that just
background
came in
yours?
from the Discord, we are accepting questions from the chat. So if you have a question for Risk
Oh yeah.
Endeavors that you want him to answer, just type it out.
Yeah. Is that gameplay in the background yours?
It is my yes. I edited it in Premiere.
That's
This was the
great. I
moment when
like
I
it.
like tried to kill the medic, but I just couldn't do it because it just wouldn't let me.
Mhm. Exactly.
I actually just took it from a random that I literally just pressed my shadow play bind like right after that, and that's where I got all the footage from.
Nice. Um okay, so some players grow dependent on certain power-ups. You'll get this when you see them using it all the time and they can't live without it. It's a thing I don't want people to start getting, like the new players. I don't want them to become dependent on certain power-ups because that means that they suck without it. Um,
Right.
Like, there's even players that will prioritize Nova over every power up, and that's like, why? Why? Nova, why?
Jam point. Jam point.
Jab point's 5 with Nova most of the time.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, some people
It's a
like to do
joke.
Plague Spy.
Mad.
There's a lot of stereotypes for manpower. I wouldn't want to
There
rip
is.
off of Soundsmith or anything, but there are a
Spot
lot of
next time.
there are
Just
a
you
lot of
wait.
stereotypes for manpower. So like Plague Spy is one of them. You could you just pick a Plague a Spy, you go invis, you touch them, you invis out, and that's it. It's that easy.
Right. Oh my
There's
god.
totally a lot of skill in that.
Yeah. Oh man, Jam and Chryso are having a battle in chat right now.
Yeah, that's what Nova does. It divides people. Yep,
Yes,
that's
it
why Nova
does. It,
needs to
it
be deleted
splits
from the game.
communities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I need to get in contact with some people who have competitive experience so that I can try to make a competitive scene and like make it legit. The last one we did was in it was still pretty close between people, like a group. It wasn't very spread out. Anyway.
Ikidu stream. That's what I was actually talking about earlier because I had a question. With him, was talking about Soundsmith earlier. I had a question that was asking basically if he's just gonna do primarily like TF2 content, but in this like Soundsmith case of how he can get really burned out at times. So
I get
power
how
up
that feels.
stereotypes.
Okay, so I actually did get burnt out making the video that has been posted. It was around the 65-hour mark where I started to lose my motivation or at least forget why I'm doing this.
Mm,
And so, as my motivation depleted, so did my willpower, and it ended up being a major chore just to get in a couple of hours of work done. Whereas before, the first couple of weeks, I could easily pump out 8 to 10 hours every day.
yeah.
So it was really crippling to me too. It was really like there's the mental part of it and then there's the work part of it. So if I don't do work on the video, what happens to my self-esteem, right?
Mhm.
And if my self-esteem is low, what happens to my work? So it's a negative loop that I was in that I call a burnout.
Right. Everyone.
I'm very lucky to have even made the rest of the video. I'm glad that did happen. It took so long, and there was a lot of procrastination involved.
Right. But I think
So
all the work this paid off because now you're got people in
it
manpower all the time.
it definitely has. I agree. It most certainly has paid off. I'm very glad and happy.
Right.
I'm glad that I have a purpose and that I'm serving people with this content. That is the major challenge of the next video, though. Is am I going to put as much work as last time? I know the answer. I have to, whether I like it or not. The challenge is gonna be, am I actually gonna do it?
Mm.
I'm pretty confident that I could do it. I have motivation from the comments section and Pyro Joe's video. His reaction really got me excited.
Yeah.
Because he genuinely liked the content. So
All right.
that's where I find my motivation.
Yeah. Okay, so now we got two questions now while you were talking. Um what are the worst two classes for manpower?
Okay, Scout and Demo Man. Scout is he's light and he doesn't have anything to uh pick up from that or at least
Mhm.
compensate for his light health. Like a sniper and spy, they may be light health, but they're glass cannons, so that makes up for the light health of their class. And same with engineer. I mean, he has a flippin' sentry, which is like a stand down heavy.
Right.
So as with Scout, though, on the other hand, Scout doesn't really have anything to compensate for his light HP, which makes him basically an easy target that can't fight back.
Right.
That doesn't mean that he can't be broken with certain power ups. Haste.
Yes.
As for Demo Man's less of a
It's just
he's good in the right hands.
it's
I
just
just
like you
don't
have
see
to
him
be
played
so
that
good
much.
with pills. to
You have
just
to be
like
very good with pills. You have to be very good with predicting where other players will go for sticky traps.
right.
But people are so mobile and manpower, and Demo Man is just,
You can't
preying
really keep
on.
up. Like
Yeah,
usually, like the good players that can predict people really well, they are like they do good in casual because the thing that's gonna be flying at you is a soldier or like maybe another demo man, but never a scout but never like every class in the game. So like, and when you have like three people grappling up to one place at once, it's just hard to kill all of them, even if you have really good prediction. Like I'm actually okay at demo man, but like I just cannot play manpower.
one thing about Demo Man and Grappling Hook as a whole is that that's the thing is its maneuverability allows for you to pick your fights whenever you want, but you can also chase. So it kind of evens that out in a certain way. No one's gonna get away if someone's really dedicated at chasing them.
Right.
But Demo Man is really bad at chasing people. Like his pills are slow, his stickies are slow, and they're meant for people coming at him, not away from him. So it really nerfs him in
That
the
is
scene of
true.
chase. It is
Yeah.
fun to play Demo Night though.
Oh
So
yeah, demo knight is
yeah.
really good, and it is good in manpower. Not really good, but like pretty good. We had another question. This one we answered earlier. This is by Just Sam Low. Are there any major tips and tricks everyone should know going into manpower? Practice the grapple hook.
Yes, absolutely. That will be in my next video, by the way. That's like the first thing I'm going to talk about is grappling hooks. So, yeah, don't worry. I'll be making that content.
Yeah. Why is risk bad? I don't think he is, but
Allow me to explain that. That's been a joke for the past couple of months.
oh really?
That's just a meme. Risk is bad.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I've kind of accepted the meme and embraced it. So that's just a thing now.
Okay. We got anyone else in the chat got any more questions? Um, he's a bind
How
on
long has this been?
TF2 for it. Oh my god. What?
How long has this been?
It's been 32 minutes.
Oh,
This
snap! It's not even been an hour yet. Oh wow.
I
Okay.
mean, I was like expecting this to only be 30 minutes long, but it's gone past that, so I'm kind of proud of myself.
Unreveal has a question.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yo, what is your inspiration for playing TF2 without the manpower?
So like playing normal casual.
I guess.
I guess that's what he's asking. So like, what makes me play normal casual? I usually don't play normal casual like at all. Like I probably haven't played any normal casual like payload in months maybe. But I have had times where I have kind of like taken a break from manpower, typically because it feels very unbalanced sometimes. And I sometimes I can't stand it, so I go to normal pubs and I see, hey, wow, this feels a lot more balanced, even though I suck at it.
Yeah.
I don't really have those times now. I've never really felt the need for a break from manpower. It's just very fun. I enjoy it.
Gears of War 1021 will asks, will Risk never be good? Hint, it's never.
Exactly, exactly. Risk is bad, or risk will always stay bad. That is the order of the universe itself.
Mine was the headshots and so ambi headshots I would get so satisfied made it.
Oh, Ambi, gosh, it's a shame the changes on that kind of made
It
it like
is.
unplayable in manpower too,
Man,
because it's so mobile, so it's harder to hit your shots.
right. It's like
What classes do you want to talk about for manpower that we haven't discussed already?
I think we've discussed Scout and Demo Man, and we've just talked about Spy. Okay, one thing I do want to talk about is, okay, someone in chat says Sniper, Pyro. Yeah, let's talk about
Okay,
Sniper.
Sniper is a cat and mouse game most of the time. The roles reverse sometimes, so most of the actually no half of the time the sniper is like the cat and the rest of the server is its mouse. As long as the sniper's undetected, he'll get the headshots, especially with precision. You don't even have to headshot then. So, but the thing is when a player sees the sniper and starts grappling toward him, that's when the real cat and mouse game starts, because then it's a game of how much ground can the sniper get away from that player, and if the sniper can get away from him at least far enough to get a headshot in, is he going to kill him?
Yeah, like Unreveal says in the chat, it's fundamentally strong in the right hands. So
It is fundamentally strong in the right hands, but I personally don't like playing sniper because I just don't like I don't enjoy the whole cat and mouse game where half the time I have to run away from players because I'm light health and I'm gonna die instantly to a
right.
direct-hit soldier. There's
Yush.
nothing I can do about it.
Okay, Gears of War 1021 asks about Pyro.
Pyro, I feel like, is underrated in Manpower. He's a very good defensive class. I definitely know for a fact he's not good offensive. Like, I will jump into a group of enemy players and get killed instantly most of the time. It's just not the way the Pyro works, but he's very good defensively, especially for supporting his teammates. He's very good working in groups. I got inspired by was it who's a good Pyro guy on YouTube?
Like Crimson?
Yeah, Crimson.
Um,
Basically some really good Pyro
Sketchek?
guys. Yeah, Sketchek. I got the Sketchek kind of inspiration, and so I went with Extinguisher and Flare Gun. That's really fun if you get good at it. It's
Good. Yeah, it
very
could be very fun.
rewarding.
Jam
But
points in the chat talking about Scout, saying, but I believe that I can become a Scout that ascends the stereotype even if it takes a lot of practice. Do you believe that's true?
I have already seen it happen. There is a player named Cats and Beans, and if you give that Scout strength, he will stomp. It makes me shudder. So it can happen. It definitely can happen. You have to get very good with Scout though, and you really have to know your place and not overextend. Otherwise, people will take advantage of your low HP and one-shot you.
Yeah, Chryso. Scout is actually really good with haste because his scatter gun becomes a discount SMG shotgun, pretty much. Because you have 12 bullets in your thing, and you can shoot it like as fast as an automatic weapon. So it's kind of stupid. It's also really fucking funny. Like the first time it happened to me, I would like die laughing. What else we got here? At one time you said that they won't grapple towards him, and while I tried it, they didn't know that I could do point blank headshots. I was like invincible in Manpower.
See, that's one reason why people need to, at the very least, strafe while they grapple in the air. Because if you grapple in a straight line, especially if it's a long grapple, you're so predictable. I've stabbed people without even seeing them just because I see their grappling hook and I know the timing.
Right.
So grapple hooks make you very predictable. So that's why you have to use strafing.
And like grappling multiple times just to get to one place.
True.
Because
like
what's good about the grapple hook is that it actually builds up momentum, and that's what's one of the most fun things about like getting really good with rollouts, is that you just go super fucking fast.
Exactly.
Is Risk Endeavors is gay? Is this true?
Oh, what that I'm... Oh, gosh. That's another meme. Risk is gay. Oh, gosh.
Risk Endeavors is gay? All the memes are coming back up in this Twitch chat.
That's funny. Back on classes, because I would like to discuss each class briefly.
Right.
We discussed Demo Man. I guess we could go on to Heavy.
Yeah, Heavy is good.
I would suggest that people start out with Heavy if they want to get quick results. Heavy is a very powerful class, if not overpowered in Manpower, because of his mobility. He's very powerful, especially with resistance. Yeah. Resistance. I almost said regen. Resistance makes him incredibly powerful, and that's like when Nova would be a good time. So, But yeah, heavy people should get good at heavy because then they could at least be a powerful part of the team. Um, Heavy's not so much a grapple fanatic though. He's very slow with the grapple, so you have to be very strategic with your grapples. If you are
Right.
going to grapple, make sure that people aren't going to fire at you, and if they are,
Yeah.
make sure they're not going to
Like I
kill you.
like there's a point in your video when you were chasing after a medic, and I think the reason that was a good time is because you already killed like half their team,
Mm-hmm.
so
Half
you
the
already had a.
time, yeah, half the time, Heavy is a powerhouse and has to take on like 5 to 6 people at once. But another half of the time, it's actually very strategic, and you have to play mind games. So, like in Hellfire, there's a certain flank that I was taught when I was coached by a very good Heavy that I never knew about. Like, I never knew that this was a really good flank, but it works on people, and it's a good flank because nobody expects it. So, Heavy is very good at taking the elements of surprise
Hmm.
and utilizing that to his advantage. Not many people really appreciate the power Heavy has just by his surprise alone. Because people will just run the flip away if they see a Heavy, right? So if you surprise them, they're kind of SOL.
Hmm.
So the
So
whole mind game is
one
yeah.
class that I want to talk about that
Hmm.
interests me because I sometimes just get completely wrecked by them.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was reading something in chat, but
Same.
uh, but anyways, is medic. Sometimes I just get annihilated by a medic. Like they'll just come in and like just with the Uber saw and some like thing and just tear like 3 people to shreds and just have Uber and leave.
If you're good at the grapple and know your limits, know how much you can take. Yeah, medic he can do pretty good on 1v1 fights. Like especially with power ups, battle medic can be a pretty decent thing. I wouldn't say that's taking him to its fullest potential though, because medic as a healer is incredibly powerful in manpower,
Yes,
if not OP,
many heals.
especially with heavy. If you have one good heavy and one good medic in manpower, that's almost a guaranteed stomp.
Didn't isn't that what happened like yesterday with somebody else? It was like a just a medic, like, just one medic and one heavy, and they literally just stomped the entire server.
I think so, yeah.
This happened
That's just
yesterday.
proof.
Yeah, proof that it's just a heavy is a very power and medic is a very powerful combo.
Not many people main medic. It's a rare breed, which is unfortunate
Yeah,
and
especially
sad.
in manpower, like it's really rare for C
There are
medics.
power ups. There's a lot of power ups that really buff medic. Like
It
there's the
is
protective ones like
shield
reflect
or not shield.
and
It's
actually yeah, resistance because that gives you the
resistance.
same effective health as a heavy.
Also, like
Um
it's just kind of takes away half of spies like tools. So if you have like a
True.
really annoying like agility spy just going around and stabbing everyone, if you have resistance, you can't die. So it's just like, well, you can
Exactly.
die technically, but you can't really a spy can't really do anything to you unless they have like strength or something.
That's very true. So yeah, resistance is like the power up to counter spies.
Yeah, and
Um
it's really like whenever I see resistance, I just avoid them. Like I don't even like go near them because I know they're gonna wreck me.
Yeah, there's also speed power ups that buff the medic, like haste and keen. They both increase the uber charge rate and also the
Oh,
heal rate. And keen heals people around in an AOE effect.
that yeah, King.
So
It's good.
keen is keen for medic. That's really all I can say
Yeah, I
for
mean
that.
like you could pick up haste and then just like do a really quick crits push with like a medic, and then you'll get pretty
I
far.
would like to add one more note. There's a thing that I'm calling ultra synergy. It's where a power up synergizes extremely well with a certain class.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd say agility is an ultra synergy for spy,
It
but
definitely is.
for medic, I would say reflect with the quick fix is an ultra sentry busting synergy. If you use the quick fix Uber effect, you're practically invincible because you have over 400 HP and
Mm-hmm.
you're healing at such a high rate.
The
And while
you
that's happening,
the sentry
anyone
can
that's
literally not out like possibly out damage you.
no, I haven't tested its limit yet, but I don't think that 2 sentries can do the job. At least not with the health that they have.
That's really good.
So yeah, if you want to be a sentry buster and you're a medic,
I
get
mean,
reflect, get quick fix, and you will shred sentries.
it probably would never happen in competitive because the quick fix is just globally whitelist banned, like in sixes. So if it was in
Oh, I got you.
manpower, then it
Wow.
probably wouldn't even be there anyways. So
Oh gosh.
it's
Yeah.
overpowered like in sixes now, like just pure vanilla TF2, because of the fact that you can pretty much just get so much health so quickly. It's just
Mhm.
really overpowered.
True that.
So that's why it's just not fun to play against. Basically,
Exactly. All right.
it's basically a
Moving
little.
on.
Oh man, what's another class we should talk about? Soldier. That's a good one.
Oh,
You
soldier.
talked about soldier in your video a little bit especially the
I
direct
did.
hit.
I mentioned direct hit plus strength equals
300
300
damage.
damage, which is true. Like over 300 damage.
That's
300 is
really
like
good.
minimum. You
Mm.
can crush with direct hit soldier. I know this because I know players that crush servers as direct hit soldiers. I'd say soldier is the perfect balance of everything. He's mobile. He can heal if he wants to with his backpack. He has a perfect health pool of like 200, which isn't too much but not too little. He has the perfect amount of everything. He has a shotgun, he has a rocket launcher. He really is just the best all-around class.
Hold on, what?
Oh, someone's talking about chat. Oh.
What happened?
They're doing some memes in chat.
What, like Twitch chat or like?
Yeah, Twitch chat.
Oh. Oh yeah, I saw that. That's why I stopped for a second there. I was paused because I was like, "Is that the N word?" Uh oh.
No. No, no, no.
No.
No. Anyway, so
Illegal.
soldier with direct hit, very crazy. Maybe even overpowered, I don't know.
Yeah.
Stock soldier isn't, I don't know if it's as viable as direct hit because potentially if we're talking about like the skill ceiling, soldier with direct hit, if you master that, it just in of its nature is better than the stock rocket launcher.
You're right.
So I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah. We're actually
Um,
getting pretty close to an hour here.
nice. Okay.
Kind of
Good
extended this
stuff.
out a long time. Longer than I thought it would be. I was
Do you
like,
want to
man,
end at the hour mark?
sure, let's end at the hour mark.
Okay.
Well,
Anyway.
we'll probably stop at like 50 and just do like outro stuff for like 10 minutes. I don't know, maybe.
Nice.
Outro stuff just it's like a YouTuber extends for like 10 minutes just to get to the 10-minute mark.
Just to get to the 7-minute mark.
What class have we not talked about yet?
I mean, I didn't give like a big personal opinion on Spy. I have played Spy the most. I have many hours in Spy. Spy is a lot more viable in manpower than he is in normal pugs
Definitely.
because well, he also gains a certain role that no one else does, power flipping. He's the only one that can pick up a power up from the opposite side and then he
That is
can
true.
drop it, which will neutralize the power up to like, yellow color, so it'll be
So you just
neutral.
take power ups and just bring them to his team, which is
That's
really
true.
good.
It's a shame though because I don't see most spies power flip. I diligently
I
power
see it
flip
all.
even
I
when
do
it's
it all the time. Like
unnecessary.
whenever I see it, like I actually figured it out. I was like, oh, I didn't know you
Hmm.
could do that. That's so cool.
It's a really
So
good service
I
to the
just
team
just
because they
try
can
to
pick
get
up the
over and
power up.
like I think like my if to get I think if I needed to get better, like I'm pretty good with the grapple, but if I need to get better, I need to learn how to play spy like actually, because all I do is
Hmm.
just go around with agility and mess around and get to a godlike kill streak.
Exactly. So the fact that the spy can one kill anyone with a backstab, no matter how much health they have, if they had 5 billion health, a backstab is a backstab. So that makes him extremely viable in manpower because people do have basically 5 billion health. That's definitely an exaggeration, but take a heavy with vampire. That's almost that is equally as good as resistance, but the spy can backstab him, and that in of its sense makes spy a super valuable member of manpower. but
Alright.
nevertheless, it does require practice.
I'm getting my internet finally fixed in 9 days after being delayed for over a month now. It's once it's fixed. I'm definitely looking forward to play Manpower. I also have plans to get into streaming and content creation, so I hope I'll be able to help with Manpower's popularity in the future. But good luck, Risk. I hope you can get Manpower into the spotlight and reignite Manpower for the whole of TF2. From
That's
Just
great.
Sam Lowe.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. It's already happening. People are new to Manpower. I'm usually getting people that recognize me and say that they came from the video, which is really happy to see because that means that people are not only enjoy the content, but they're trying out Manpower. So there's a noticeable change for sure, and I really just have to keep going.
Unreveal says, Yo dude, can the Machina fully charge with a damage bonus kill the quick fix medic? I actually do know this, like, personally. Yes, technically the Machina, with the strength power up, has the most damage you can output in one shot in the entire game.
Yeah.
Either
Because
of
strength or
the fact.
precision.
So actually, the damage stacks with each player because you can do collaterals with the Machina. So if you had technically, if you had the maximum amount of players you can collateral with, you could do like 18,000 damage.
That's crazy.
With
Yeah,
the
the numbers kind of get really crazy.
But I don't think that's ever gonna happen because I think it's like a lot of people.
A spy of the kunai can get up to 1,035 overheal HP with reflect, which is the highest that the spy can get. But
this is 1,000 health spy just going around
you would
at the
have to
speed
get
of light.
crazy chain stabs for that to happen. You'd basically
You
have
would
to
have to
line
get
up.
a crazy amount of chain stabs.
Oddly enough, I don't really get many. I don't see many chain stabs happening in Manpower.
I think the highest chain
because
stab I've gotten in
everyone is-
Manpower is like 2, and that's not really that
Mhm.
good. But that's just
Yeah.
mainly because everyone's flying around so much.
Exactly. Everyone's flying around. They're not coming at you most of the time, and if they are, they're not really in backstab range. So
Right.
it's not really good for chain stabs.
Nah, it is not.
Okay. Machina fully charged headshot with precision and strength, by the way. It does do 1,035 damage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think it was. I think if you do it with like the 2 power-ups somehow, I guess with a cheat or something, with precision and strength, you can get like 1,800 damage if you use all the collaterals with the Machina.
Yeah. I would like to mention really quick about the community server. So I do have a community TF2 server that's running 24/7. It gets updated at 5 a.m. The thing about it is that it could be better than Manpower itself because it's customizable. We could do normal Manpower or vanilla Manpower. We could do Hyperline. So it has a lot of pros, but no one really plays it. That's the thing. So I'm hoping that with this video out and it's getting popular and stuff, we could actually like potentially fill up the server sometimes and play on that.
Yeah, go like a game night one night, just playing vanilla on like actual
Exactly.
maps. That would be really fun.
It'd be really fun. It'd be a fun way to introduce people to Manpower too, because it's not entirely what they're.
Yeah, it's not. It's not just the new maps that they don't understand. It's like old maps that they probably played before. Also, payload on Manpower sounds insane and really fun. So.
It is. It's really cool. I think we did that for our first tournament thing.
That sounds insane. Just like
It was very stacked, which made it not so fun. But
cannot imagine upward.
It was fun.
It's like it's like upward, except every single class can do the soldier rollout.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try that now with the grapple hook and try to do the soldier loadout and just get so high. I actually know how to do the upward loadout on soldier. It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Well, we are currently at the 55-minute mark. So I'm going to start kind of wrapping it up here.
Yep.
I think this is a very successful first episode of TF.summit. So of course, everyone should go check out Risk Endeavors. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Right. If you want to look at some behind the scenes stuff, come join the Discord. If you wanna watch some VODs, see what you missed, or see some funny clips, you can go on the YouTube channel. I'll have the VOD up in probably like a half an hour. If you want to look at some announcements and extras, go on our Twitter. And if you want to support TF.summit, just donate to me through Streamlabs. All right. I think that is good. All right. Goodbye, everybody. I will see you probably another time in Risk Endeavors Discord
See you around.
server. Goodbye.